Welcome everyone to another Bitesize Bat Rep from 6++. First up we have the Dark Angels controlled by John. John, do you want to take us over the units you've got here today?
Right, so as you can see we've got Master Ezekiel, the Chief Librarian. We've got a Jump Pack Interrogator Chaplain and a Blade Guard Ancient. We've got then, if we go on to the elites, we've got 2 Deathwing Command Squads, 2 big blocks of 10 Deathwing Terminators, both with Cyclone Missile Launchers. Then for the troops, we've got 2 Infiltrate Squads for that cheeky 12-inch area denial. For some elite characters, we've got the Ravenwing Apothecary and the Ravenwing Champion. And then finally, for fast attack, we've got 3 Landspeeder Tornadoes and then 2 singular Landspeeder Tornadoes as well. And of course, I can't forget the Ravenwing Talonmaster, who is probably my favourite model.
And here we have my glorious 2000 points of Blood Axes. We have a Beast Boss on Squigosaur heading it up with his lieutenant, a Nob on Smasher Squig. In the troop slots we have 3 units of Beast Stagger Boys, each in their own kill rig. We then have 3 units of 10 Gretchen. In the elite section, we've got 2 units of 10 Commandos, a unit of 10 Nobs with big choppers and choppers in a truck, and they are truck boys. And then across in fast attack, we have a unit of 4 Squig Hog Riders, and then 2 units of 10 Storm Boys. Hopefully this has got what it takes to take out the Dark Angels, but let's go and find out. Hello John, do you want to take us through your secondaries and your deployment?
Yes, so my secondaries I've gone with Oath at the moment. Obviously because I just want to sit in the middle. I want to pressure that as much as possible, potentially with maybe Terminators, who knows. I've got to raise the banners high, because obviously being on objectives, as we score on points. And then I've done behind enemy lines, so I've got 2 units of Deathwing Command Squads up in the sky, in the Teleportarium, and 2 single Landspeeders that are in Strategic Reserves War as well. So hopefully they can help kind of get me those points just by appearing and just doing their thing. So.
And your deployment, if you want to take us through that.
So the deployment, as you can see, put some infiltrators in the middle just to put pressure, and then kind of I can tow onto the objective, raise a banner hopefully. Not knowing whether I was going to go first or second, I've put one of my big bricks of Terminators kind of in the middle so they can go and kind of whichever way I need them to go, with obviously all the characters kind of around them. The Talonmaster's tucked in behind them because he doesn't really need to worry about where he ends up being, because he can just get wherever he needs to, but obviously needs to be defensive. I've put the other Terminator block over on the left-hand side of my deployment, purely because I needed to pressure that side, because you had deployed some commandos in the open that could essentially just come to me turn 1. So I needed to try to at least contest that. In my back, I've put some infiltrators that are now basically screening out my back of my deployment zone so that you can't potentially deep strike stuff down. I put the land speeders there because I theorised that if I'm going first or second, I don't really want them in the open if I'm going second. And if I'm going first, they can just zip out. It's not a problem, so.
Go. Yep, so secondary wise, I took Green Tide. I've got a lot of bodies, so hopefully I'll be able to pressure and get in at least 3/4 a turn to try and keep myself at a steady 3 points. I then got to get the good bits, because with the priority objectives on this mission, being able to pull one back into cover that's outside of my deployment zone technically allows the Grots to do that without being in danger. And finally, the last one was a bit difficult. The Deathwing army doesn't give up much. I had the option of no prisoners, but that meant trying to chew for all the Terminators, which is the worst thing for me to try and kill. So if I'm going to be killing stuff and trying to do it anyway, I've gone for Assassinate, because there's the full 15 on offer. But we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we can get a win for the Orks. So deployment wise, we've not known if we're going to go first or not. I put a unit in of Storm Boys just holding my back objective, so that if I did go first I could push them up into the front ruin. I've then on the right hand flank I've gone for the Nob on Smasher Squig, supported by a unit of 4 Squig Hog Boys. Following that up, we've got a kill rig, the truck with the Nobs in, the Squig Boss on Squigosaur, and then this unit of commandos that are here were out here, making sure that there was no way that John could set up a infiltrating squad to pressure me over here. So they've moved back in here with a unit of Gretchen that can potentially hop out when the shooting's died down a bit. Then we've got another kill rig. We did have a third kill rig next to it, but because I went second, I used the Warlord trait for blood axes to put one into reserve. We then have 2 units of grots here that their main job's going to be trying to get me the precious artifact and also do get the good bits over there. I did have a unit of commandos on the far right flank, which were just going to, if I went first, stay there and get me green tide and just basically stop jumping me out to get out of his deployment zone. Also in reserves, I have the unit of commandos that was over there that's gone into reserve, the kill rig that's gone into reserve, and then I do have a unit of 10 storm boys that are up in the sky. The rest are all in transports. We'll come back at the end of John's movement, turn 1. Here we are at the end of the Dark Angels turn 1 movement phase. John, do you want to tell us what's gone on here?
Right, so these Terminators have just popped out of the ruin. They did advance, but they only went 2, so unfortunately they didn't get quite onto the objective, but they're in a bit of a defensive kind of springboard position, hopefully, so at least they've got the -1 shooting kind of ruins in front of them. And then we've got, tucked in here, Talon Master. He couldn't really get a bead on anything, so I kind of decided to just kind of put him behind the ruin, a bit more defensive, see what he can do turn 2 instead. Terminator Blob here, they've obviously moved forward. They advanced as well because I didn't see the point of them just not getting anywhere for any benefit, just to potentially shoot some missiles. The chaplain that's tucked in behind them, he cast 2 litanies, so he's got the Canticle of Hate, which would give +2 to charges if I was going to, and +1 to the attack rolls. The attack wound rolls on those Terminators was allocated as well, just in case. So if there's a charge, I've at least got some sort of counter punch back as well. I did move the Apothecary with them and the Ravenwing Champion. They're all kind of lined up just to be supportive. The Infiltrators just in the middle have kind of scooped themselves back in to try to make as long a charge as possible, but they have raised a banner. So I've raised a banner with both of the units just to kind of start getting my secondaries going, because obviously I want to be near the middle and as best as possible there. And then these land speeders have gone forward. Their kind of marked target is one of the kill rigs, so I'm just hoping that they can kind of do enough damage to that horrible, horrible beast.
So John, we have a problem here, don't we? We can see that there's 3 land speeders over there, and there's still a kill rig here. Can you tell us what happened?
So I rolled 6 melter shots into the kill rig, did 3 of them successfully, but then only rolled 4 on 3 dice. So then I re-rolled one of them because it couldn't be any worse than 1, right? Got a 5. So took 8 damage from that, and then a couple more from the assault cannons, but not enough to kill it. So it's a shame, but it's a dice game. And that was all of the shooting. So very much it was I'm setting myself up, trying to kind of set a staging ground, got a couple of banners up that should complete my next command phase, and then yeah, just got to see what the Ork clapback is like.
Right, we'll be back shortly with my turn 1 for the Orks.
Right, Aaron's got something he'd like to say to everyone as well. So, Aaron, when you're ready.
So here we are at the end of the Orks turn 1 movement, and let me take you through what I've done. So on this right hand flank, we are pushing hard and just going to try and take out this unit of Terminators. The knob on Smash the Squig has come up with the Squighog boys. We've got all the knobs that have jumped out from the truck. We've also got a kill rig that's going to come out. We're going to try and wipe them off the face of the earth. This is the priority objective for the Dark Angels, so we're going to make sure we try and get rid of that. We've got a unit of Gretchen that are just towing on here to hold the objective. The Beast Boss and Squigosaur came all the way back to huddle in the home to actually prevent deep striking from the Dark Angels command squads, and that then protects these units of Gretchen which are doing get the good bits over here, and this is worth 7 points a turn, so thought best to keep that safe. The injured kill rig has come up here. It's going to try and get into the land speeders that are up here. We've got a unit of Storm Boys and Commandos that are going to try and come in and wipe out the Infiltrator squad to stop over for the moment and take the banner down. And I think that is all we've got. So we'll come back at the end of the turn and see what happens. So we're now at the end of the Orks turn 1. The Gretchen over here have completed get the good bits and obviously keeping my priority objectives. In the centre, we absolutely dogpiled the infiltrators that were sitting there with their banner with the Storm Boys and the Commandos, so we've taken them out. At the back, we charged in with a very injured kill rig and managed to take out one land speeder for nothing in losses in return. And then the big bloodbath was over here. We charged everything into the Terminators, and we fluffed a bit, and obviously they've got a very good armor save, but we managed to take down 6 of them, and we've still got some people left there, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Next up, we're on to Dark Angels turn 2. Here we are at the end of Dark Angels turn 2, their movement phase. John, do you want to tell us what's happened here?
Right, so the pack of 4 Terminators have fallen back. They had to roll for it, but they did. Then they've obviously come next to the Apothecary, who's hopefully going to bring one of them back. The other Terminators have moved forward, kind of aggressively. The Canticle, the Chaplains put up the Exaltation of Rage on them as well. So they're going to be improving. Oh no, it's the wrong one for that. No, it is them. Yes, sorry. It's +1 to wound. So really helpful. We've got everything else move forward. Ezekiel's tucked in here. So hopefully he's going to get a cheeky smite off into this wounded kill rig. It's only got 3 wounds left. So hopefully I might be able to kill it. If not, these guys can shoot in combat. But -1. Talonmaster's moved forward. He's come out so that anything that comes out of that, hopefully he'll just pepper with shots. I brought these guys forward as well, just so they can at least shoot at something, because there's the Storm Boys in front and stuff. I have brought these 2 individual land speeders in from Deep Strike. I can only get them here, not Deep Strike, Strategic Reserves. The Orks have had to push them back, so they're not within 12 inches of this kill rig. But as a result, I'm still going to be getting 4 shots of Melter hopefully into it, which might be enough to at least wound it, hopefully, but we'll see.
So here we are at the end of Dark Angels turn 2, and there is a lot less on the board than there was before. John, do you want to take us through what has occurred?
Right, so the middle Terminator blob did their thing, given a load of buffs and stuff. Chaplain went in with them. Blade God Ancient did as well. He decided he just wanted to hit people with his fist or handbag or whatever the heck he's packing. They didn't quite kill the Storm Boys, but they've taken the middle. Got the 2 characters within kind of range of it. Unfortunately, I did have to fall back the other Terminator squad because I was trying to get some shooting and try to deal with the kill rig itself. I took out the knobs down to 1, but they managed to pass them around, which is a shame. This kill rig though, this guy is probably Aarron's MVP for this turn, because not only did he take a smite got denied by him, it was a 12 I believe Aarron rolled to deny it, so it was basically like the best he could roll. So those 3 wounds didn't happen. Then I shot him a lot with the guys in combat with him, got him down to 2 wounds. Then in combat, the Red Wing champion decided he'd have a hit. It was like, cool, I'm only wounding on 6s, but I reroll because you're a character. This will be fine. It's gonna be fine, guys. I hate to tell you, but he's still on 2 wounds, and now my champion is on 2 wounds. So this side of the table basically feels like, if I was gonna kind of express it in colourful words, this is not a game-winning play here. It looks tough for me at the moment. Aarron's weight of dice so far have done quite well for him, but being not Goths has meant that I've survived a bit more than I probably should have. But at the same time, I feel like I've still got 3 more turns to play. I need to start trying to get some behind enemy lines, but I've got 2 units of command squads sat up in the sky. The land speeders obviously could just zip across if I need them to. So there is some play for me still, but I do feel like I'm on the back foot for certain now. And now back to Aarron. And we'll be back as soon as the Orks get through their extensive movement phase.
So the end of Orks turn 2 movement. The Gretchen aren't going anywhere. They're staying here just doing the good bits and precious artifacts. These guys are still holding the one here, and our very weirdly placed Beast Boss is sitting here screening out the Deep Strike and Terminators so that we can continue to score points here. Over here the trucks come up just to get another body on here. The single remaining knob has also fell back to make sure there's 2 units have to get got rid of. The Beast Snagger boys have got out the kill rig. I think they're going to see what their options are after the shooting and psychic's done, but maybe charging to take the character out. And with that in mind, we've also got the Smasher Squig to go in and try and pop the character, followed up by the kill rig and the Squig Hog boys that are going to try and go into the Terminators and sort them out. Over here, the Beast Snagger boys have got out of the kill rig and are going to go after Ezekiel. And then we have the kill rig has fallen back from combat, so it can charge back in. He's going to go after that champion if he's still alive at the end of all this. And finally, we've got a kill rig that has come in from reserves to try and go after the 2 land speeders that are sat up here and just settle ourselves out to make it a bit more comfortable going forwards. Let's see what happens at the end of the turn. Right, so here we have the end of Orks turn 2. We've come over here, we've managed to pop one of the land speeders over there. We got rid of the champion on the Black Knight. We've also managed to get rid of the apothecary. We had to sacrifice our Nob-on Smasher Squig to do so, but we've done it. And then over here we hit a bit of a tar pit and we did leave one Terminator alive, which is very frustrating, but he is wrapped, he can't get out, and we are all in combat with him. So we'll see, this is going to be quite an impactful one. Over here we saw that Ezekiel, just like a boss, absolutely tanked everything and the unit of boys bounced off him. But going into Dark Angels turn 3, let's actually see what happens. End of Dark Angels turn 3 movement. John, do you want to talk us through what's gone on?
Right, so Terminators have moved up. They've got both Litanies are up again. The 2 land speeders have come across into the middle. And the Talon Master has also booped in, so he can get a bead on those grots that have been pesky. Ezekiel's trapped, so he's going to have to fight his way out. These guys have just stayed still, because then they can shoot on a 2-up. The guy in combat was trapped as well, so he's staying there. And then we've got the command squad has to drop down, so I've put them there. They're not quite in the deployment zone, unfortunately, but they have to this turn, so I've brought them down, because then at least they can walk on for next turn. The other squad have dropped down successfully. They are going to try 9-inch charge if they need to against the grots. I don't imagine they're going to need to, because hopefully the Talon Master will clear that up for me. And then this guy, who was the remaining one that left from the kill rig, he's on 1 wound. He's just come into the deployment zone just to go, hello, I want some points. So playing more for the game, for the mission, than kind of kills and stuff, which is probably the right play.
That is. Right, so the end of Dark Angels turn 3, and what's happened here, John?
So got a land speeder and some Terminators in your deployment zone for behind enemy lines. Kill rig's finally gone, but Ezekiel unfortunately failed to a wound, near enough. These guys came across, they killed the kill rig, killed the boys, and because they had 6-inch consolidation and pile in, they managed to tip onto my my prestigious objective. So I stole that, and I'm now kind of just sitting in the middle with the land speeders, hopefully holding the oath at the moment there as well, with the Talon Master as well. So you've got stuff still to come in from reserve, but I'm kind of spread out, hopefully making it as hard as possible. So we'll be back at the end of your movement phase, I believe.
So here we are at the end of the Orks turn 3 movement. We've brought in the commandos here to try and sort out this horrible dude here. This back unit of Gretchen is doing get the good bits. We've disembarked the Beast Snagger boys here. They're going to try and come into the 2 speeders in the middle. And then the kill rig is going to attempt to charge onto the chaplain if the Squig Hog boys can't deal with him themselves. We've then got the little lone knob as well to go in case it's needed. We've got the trucks come over here to absorb Overwatch from the Talon Master, and then hopefully the Storm boys will charge him. And then over here we've got the remaining Beast Snagger boys that are going to try and take out the infiltrators sat on the back objective. Let's see what happens at the end of the turn. So end of Orks turn 3, the commandos managed to get rid of that pesky speeder. The boss got rid of the Terminators that dropped in here. We got locked in combat, we couldn't quite get through the speeder here. And again, same here, we couldn't quite dent the speeders. We did make a mistake with the kill rig and not go into the infiltrators over there, so Dave stayed alive and he was wasted. But we did take out the chaplain, and we've just left the Terminators over here. So we realised there wasn't much going on at the end, so we just figured out what the max scores would be able to turn out to, and it was, let's let John tell us what happened.
Right, so in battle round 4, I was holding 2. It was on my objective here still with the Terminators. I managed to get some stuff behind enemy lines, so that the land speeders are all kind of tucked in there, trying to just do what they can. My little 2 squad of Terminators came in, got rid of some of the grots, made it so that it was a bit difficult for him to immediately do his actions. Not impossible though, so it's going to happen. I kept my banner guy there, but fast forward in turn 5, he does die. They do die because the kill rate goes into them. So the banner then drops. We then start to look at things like I'm not scoring oaths because I'm not in the middle anymore. If I can kill another vehicle, so we were looking at it and not going to kill the kill rig, even though it's on 1 wound, because it would be over here. This truck potentially. And that depends on if the land speeders are still around as well. So we were just kind of looking at it from kind of best case scenarios without us kind of going and trying to kind of jangle it too much. So I'd be sitting on an objective with my Terminators. Aarron would have the rest of the board under his control and he'd be getting up to a 94-point win. So it's a very close game. It didn't feel like it turned 2 because there were some really like awful dice rolls for both of us. And it was quite fun to watch because it looked like I was on the back foot, kind of sprung back a bit, and then it ran out of steam a little bit. So being very elite was really helpful, but when there's just a weight of dice going at you, it's a grueling attrition, and I think the Orks deservedly got that victory.
Yeah, as we can see, there's not a lot left on the table. It was a very hard fought battle. As John says, very aggressive and lots of bloodshed, but ultimately just the weight of numbers managed to grind out the Dark Angels and get ourselves a 94-67 win. But yeah, please come back and see the next one, and thank you for watching.